Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? I want to turn this around so you guys can see what I am out in right now. Are you guys ready? Look at this. We are having a bit of a snowstorm, a winter storm warning. We've had about, I would say, about 3 or 4 inches already, and we are predicted to get 1 to 2 inches an hour through the night. So that is a little bit of our winter situation. I can tell you that I am very, very happy about it. My husband is not. He's like, I'm so over this now, blah, 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 whatever. I'm like, I love it. It's Christmas. We finally got some snow, and I'm on the side streets right now, so of course these aren't really plowed, although it looks like somebody went through already and plowed them once. But I am going to get up here to the main roads and see how they are in a second. So anyway, but the roads don't seem too bad. I'm in my toasty warm car, which I have up to 75 degrees right now in here, and it's so nice. And I have my seat heater on. Oh, I should turn on my steering wheel here as well. Oh, no, I don't need the vented seat. I need the heated seat. Heated wheel. I mean, I might as well use it since I have it, right? You kind of hardly don't even notice the heated steering wheel. I think what it would be nicest for is you can pre-start the car, which I've never had that before in a car. I actually, for my ex, like our second or third Christmas, he really, really wanted that because we lived in an apartment. So he really wanted a car starter, like, you know, where you like just sit down from the upstairs and you like start the car, you know? So I got him one, and he had to have it installed at Best Buy. And so he had that and I did not, and I was always kind of jealous of it because I wanted one. I don't know why I never just ended up getting myself one. I should have. Hold on a second, let me get this thing all situated so that I can vlog. I'm dying for something to drink right now. It's actually early. It's 9:12. And I took a nap, and I didn't post any videos today except for my vlog. My vlog is actually uploading as we speak. Because I had just such a relaxed day. I decided that I was feeling really bad because I didn't, where is my phone? Oh, did I not bring my phone? Oh shoot, I'm gonna have to go back and get my phone. Oh, damnation. I have to turn around and go back the way I just came to get my dang phone. This pickup truck obviously has major traction because it is like hauling back through there. I hope I didn't leave my phone like in the snow somewhere. Oh, my steering wheel is kind of warm now. I was feeling bad about not posting a review video today because I said that I was going to do, you know, a giveaway every day in December. But I actually have done 2 Starbucks giveaways, and I think I'm going to do 2 giveaways tomorrow to make up for today. I just needed to relax. I needed to just spend the day with Alex. He laid in bed all day long watching The Crown on TV. And so I took a nap with him, a really long nap, and the dogs just kind of hung out with us. It just was a nice day. We went to brunch. It just was low-key, just calm, relaxed. I had such a relaxed day today. It was so fantastic. So yeah, I just, you know, that's what I needed to do, and to get prepared for the week. And I'm happy about that. I was trying to figure out what kind of, but I feel like I was letting people down too by not doing that. At least just on that channel. On my, you know, the other channels, I know people know that I don't post every single day over there necessarily. But I was trying to figure out which channel to do a video with Arlena on, and I'm gonna do it probably on more than one. But she texted me today and she was like, said something like, I would really like if we could review something together. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. So we're gonna review something on Thursday together too. I have no idea what. We'll just come up with it on Thursday when we get together. Maybe a Starbucks drink or just some random, you know, thing. We'll figure something out. I made it right up to the road, and now I have to go all the is so pretty outside though. I was on Audible trying to find like holiday books, and so I was like Googling like the best holiday books and whatever to listen to on Audible, because I'm just not really into this Richard Paul Evans book that I'm listening to. It's kind of sad and depressing. And when all these books that I looked up, like they weren't on Audible. I'm like, what is going on? None of these books are on Audible. But whatever. I got one book, but it's like a New Year's book. It's like some New Year's young adult or new adult book, and it's about this girl, and she's traveling somewhere, I don't know where, to visit her family from college or something, and she gets trapped in the Denver airport because of a snowstorm. And it's about her being trapped in the Denver airport on New Year's Eve. I kind of thought that might be a fun book to listen to, like while we're traveling. So I got that. And oh, I wanted to get that book about the DC shooter. I meant to do that. I didn't do that. Oh well. There's a snowplow coming up the street towards me. You guys, I just want to show you this. Our neighborhood is so pretty. Look at this. Do you see how pretty it is through here? This is what Indiana looks like in the winter time. I guess they didn't really plow the street though. Alright, well I'm gonna be, I'll be back in, all these people have such beautiful, pretty Christmas tree lights inside and outside their house. I will be back in just a few minutes. I'm gonna go grab my phone and then I'll be back. Okay, bye. Hello, 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 I'm back. It's a little bit later. I was leaving the house and my friend Valerie called me. So I was talking to her on the phone. And then I wanted to go get a Diet Coke at McDonald's. So I was driving over here. The main roads are slow, but they're not horrible. So now we are at McDonald's and I'm driving through to get a Diet Coke. I really want a Dr. Pepper, but I feel like I should probably just have a Diet Coke. You guys want to see the snow at McDonald's? I mean, look how much snow we've had. That's the Walmart parking lot over there. Isn't that crazy? So yeah, exciting times at the Cinnamon Sips. Oh, what fun, it says. I think I have $1 in here somewhere. I have a 10. I have $1. Do I have change? I don't think I have change in here. I don't usually keep change in here. I know, but I do have change in here, I know. I have really, like, no idea what to talk about tonight. It's, like, crazy coming down, though. I'm, like, pulling quarters, nickels, everything other than what I need. There's kind of a line going on here. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. I wish the snow would stay around till Christmas. That's what I wish. It would just stay on the ground till Christmas. Oh my God, where is a dime? Here is another nickel and 3 pennies. Yeah, can I get a large Diet Coke, please?
Anything else for you?
Nope, that's it.
109, that's it.
This poor woman, seriously, is here every time I come through. It's 9:57 now. So, I think it's kind of like, I wonder what time she comes in. She's always here. This line is crazy long. Do you know what's really funny? Okay, so people ask me all the time, they're like, what are things that you miss from like, not eating meat? And I gotta pull this thing down, this Jeep thing. People are always like, what are things that you miss from not eating meat anymore? And what's so interesting about it is, like, I don't typically, like, I don't, like, earlier in the year, I was kind of like missing steak. Like we went to Ocean Prime a Valentine's Day with Jason and Melissa. Man, that was kind of hard. And then there's been some other times I thought a steak sounded good. Chicken, I almost like never think about. But you know what is weird is the one thing that, I put my car into the snow mode over here. The one thing that I think about when I, just when I drive by it, I don't think about it any other time, is, and you know, and I've thought about almost like, although I'm sure that it's not vegetarian the way that they would make it, but I've thought about just getting the buns with like the special sauce, or just like fries with the special sauce, because I think it's the sauce that I miss. But I miss the taste of a Big Mac. To think that I haven't had a Big Mac in 2 years and August, September, October, November, almost 5 months. Like this, I've been a vegetarian for almost 2.5 years. Like that's crazy to me. That was not my plan when I started all of this. If you guys watch back in the day, like I started it while I was vlogging, and I said I was going to do it for 30 days. I used to talk about it a lot on here. I would be like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I don't know if I'm, you know, I talked about when I go on vacations, I was going to really struggle with staying a vegetarian. I didn't know how I was going to do it and all this kind of stuff. When I left the house, this is totally on a side note, but when I left the house, I said to Alex, I said, okay, I'm going to vlog, I'll be back. And he goes, with candy. I said, if I stop, what kind of candy do you want? And he goes, gummy candy. I said, okay. And this is the thing that's so funny, is like if I'm out, like I'll text Alex and I'll be like, I'm going to Meijer, do you want anything? And it'll be like 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night, and he'll be like, yeah. And then I'll be like, okay, what do you want? And he'll be like, well, I don't want to bother you with it. I'm like, babe, I'm already here, just whatever you want, you know? And so he'll say, okay, some of that supremely spicy hummus, a large container, the large container, okay? And then a certain kind of, like, he likes those scoops. He likes those scoops. And then he'll be like, that smart popcorn that he likes. And then, like, sometimes he'll ask for Oreos, although he hasn't asked for those recently. And then he wants one of those huge bags, okay, of Sour Patch Kids that you can get from Walmart. Or Kroger, or wherever. They have them everywhere. But he always... McDonald's holiday hours, in case you want to know. Thanks. Christmas Eve, 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. They're closed on Christmas Day. Hey. Here you go. Yeah. Thank you. New Year's Eve, 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. New Year's Day, open 24 hours. I wonder what time they start opening on New Year's Day. Midnight? Because that would be New Year's Day. That would suck. What time do you have to be at work on New Year's Day? Midnight. Would that not totally suck? But anyway, so like I'll go to the grocery store and he'll give me this list of all the stuff he wants. And then I'll get home and I'll be like, and I can hear the fan going upstairs. And I'll be like, okay, babe, I'm home with all this stuff. And he'll be like, oh, I went to sleep. You could just put it in the pantry for me. And I'm like, I just did grocery shopping for you for a week. And you don't even, oh, pizza nugget. He calls them pizza nuggets, pizza rolls. He'll want pizza nuggets and all kinds of stuff. And I'll basically be like, well, what's the string cheese? He loves that mozzarella string cheese. I'm like, I basically just did grocery shopping for you for a week. And now you're like, fine to just go to sleep and you don't need this stuff anymore. It always cracks me up. Did I tell you guys I fell on the bathroom floor like a month ago? Well, I think I don't even know how long ago it was, but I think I really hurt my knee. Because my knee still to this day, like it hurts so bad. But it's not like all the time, but like right now it really hurts, but it's not all the time that it happens. It's like off and on. But like right now it really hurts. And sometimes it itches. Or it burns, and I don't know what that is. Guy's putting together the shake machine or something. Could somebody explain to me why the shake machine is always down at McDonald's? Like, does anybody have any idea? The shake machine never works at McDonald's. Now you can use your phone to pay. There's like 2 cars in front of me where they're waiting for like their food. Like This is like the, oh no, there's one more window up there. But I don't think, if I get my Coke, I don't think I'm gonna be able to turn out.
Got your Coke?
Yep.
Here you go.
Thank you, sir.
Have a nice one.
You too. I think maybe I will. We'll see. They're probably like, we're waiting for hot fries for you. There's something to me though that just is kind of like Christmassy about getting McDonald's and getting a Big Mac and large fry and like an apple pie and a Coke. I don't know what that is about. Does anybody else feel that way? Is it just me? Okay, I'm crazy. How do I get out of this place? Oh, I hate those. Do you hate that when your windshield wipers, it's like, they're not wet enough? Thank God I cleaned them off the other night. My back, too, is like, you can't really see it from there, but it's like really super clean. I know it doesn't look like that in the camera, but it is. When it's like not wet enough to use your windshield wipers, but it's like, it's wet enough that you have to use them, but it's not like wet enough that they're like, you need to use them all the time, and then it makes that squeaking noise. Although Tanya was in here the other night, and she was like, your windshield wipers are so nice. I was like, thanks, Tanya Jean. Tanya Jean's another one that when it gets like cold and snowy outside, she just hibernates. She doesn't like to go outside. She doesn't like to do any of that kind of stuff. She's like, I'm in it to win it. I'm staying inside. I'm not going out. I'm not doing a whole lot. And I'm like, okay. I'll call her and I'll be like, you wanna go get a fountain pop? And she'll be like, and it'll be like flurries outside. And she'll be like, oh no, there's a snowstorm outside. I'm in it. I'm inside for the night. I'm like, okay. There's a snowstorm outside. And I'm always like, Tanya Jean, there is no snowstorm outside. It is barely flurries. And she'll start laughing and she'll Tonight she said, this is her new concept that she's coming up with. She's gonna put a media room together in her front. I go, what do you mean by a media room? And she goes, a media room. I'm gonna put a media room together. I'm gonna put my TV in there, and I'm gonna, you know, get some chairs, and that way when Eric is watching his TV, she goes, you can come over and you can watch a movie with me. And she's like, we can watch like, you know, some series, because her husband likes to actually watch like romantic comedies, and he watches all these old TV shows and stuff like that, like Bonanza. So she said, you can come over and then we can go in the living room and we can watch like one of our dramatical movies. Do you like how I just make up words? Dramatical is totally not a word, just so you know. But I like the word dramatical. It's the same as romantical. Romantical is not a word. Even though I am passing Cirillas, where they have all of the lingerie and all that. Oh my Lord, family friendly so much. Okay, so anyway. Do you ever just like drive by hotels and you think how cozy it would be to just check in for the night? And then you get home and you realize how much cozier your own house is. That made no sense, did it? I'm over these windshield wipers. But like then the second I turn them off, it's like the windshield starts filling up with like little snow spots and wetness and stuff. I'm probably not gonna vlog for a real long time tonight because I want to, I know Alex wants some candy, so I'm gonna take him some candy. I want candy. Do you guys remember that song back in the day? Do you remember the Jesus and Mary chain? The song, Taste, oh, it was Taste of Cindy, not Candy. Crack of dawn, Cindy's moving on. I used to love the band, the Jesus and Mary chain in high school. It's kind of an acquired taste, I think, but I loved them so much. That Augustine Burroughs book really had an impact on me. Like, I've really been thinking a lot about it today. I was telling Alex, well, Alex has read it, because I said to him, when we originally talked about it, I was like, he said, oh, he goes, I read that. I go, I don't think you read that. He goes, yes, I did. And he goes, I've read all of the Augustin Burroughs books. And I go, except for like the newest ones. He goes, yeah, except for like his last 2 I haven't read. He said, but I've read all of his other books. And I go, the one that's like short essays about like when he was a kid growing up. He goes, well, they're not all about when he was a kid. I said he said there's a lot of them that are about him like when he's an adult too. And I go, I don't think so. Well, I wasn't to that part yet. That's why you never act like you know more than your husband or wife, right? He didn't even fight it with me. He was just like, okay. So then I got to the next story because he knew that I would tell him myself because I always have to. So that night I was driving around and I was listening and it came to an adult story. Like the 3rd story is like an adult story, right? And basically about Augustin Burroughs sleeping with this Santa Claus, this guy dressed up like Santa Claus. Anyway, and I said, I got to the part in the book last night and I said, you were right. I go, there were some adult stories in there. And he just kind of looked at, we were sitting in the kitchen, he just kind of looked at me with a smirk on his face. I go, okay, you read it. Okay, you read it. I was wrong. Our friends the other night it was their like anniversary of being together. Like they've been together like 11 years like we have. And I didn't realize I thought they were like a year or 2 behind us. But anyway, on their Instagram story, they posted, I thought this was so funny. Like earlier in the day, one of them said on his Instagram story that he was really excited because they were going to get really dressed nice and go out to dinner for their anniversary, right? So then throughout the day, they were like progressively like doing stuff to get ready for this anniversary dinner. And then it was so funny because they were like sitting on their couch at the end and they were like, so we're sitting on our couch and we, like we do every other night because we cannot decide on a place to go because neither one of us wants to go to the same place. We've decided to bring food in. And I thought, there have to be more marital disputes over where we're gonna go to dinner than any other place. It was so funny because the other night, I said to Alex, he texted me and what night was that? Was it like Wednesday night? I can't remember. But anyway, he was, I don't remember what night it was, but it was the night that we went to Puccini's with Sarah because I said, maybe it was last Monday, I don't know, but I said, do you want to go somewhere for dinner? Because he was like coming home and he was hungry. He was like, I said, what are you doing tonight? He goes, I don't know, but I'm hungry. And I said, well, do you want to get something to eat? And he was like, yeah. I said, let's go out and we can have a little night, go out and have dinner somewhere. And he goes, well, what are you thinking about? Well, I didn't really want Chinese, but I thought that he probably would want Pei Wei. And so I said, how about Puccini's or Pei Wei? I was really hungry for pasta, but I could do either way. And he goes, I'm not really feeling either one of them. And I said, okay. And I said, where do you want to go? And he goes, can you do Mexican? And I said, I'm not really feeling Mexican, but I could do Mexican. And I was thinking like the place that we ended up going with Jason and Melissa on Friday. Okay, so this was Thursday night that we went out to dinner with Sarah. Because I asked Melissa if she wanted to go out to dinner too, if she and Jason did, but she had this fundraiser thing that she was doing on Thursday night for dog rescues. And Jason was there too. I think it was like a Christmas party or something for it. So anyway, so I said to Alex, I said, where do you want to go? And I was thinking he was going to say like just one of these like, these kind of like strip mall Mexican places, which that's the kind of Mexican I like, right? And he goes, Cholita. Well, Cholita is this new restaurant here in town. It's been open for a year. He loves it. He loves their margaritas. I don't drink margaritas, so I don't really care, But it's kind of like upscale Mexican. It's like, well, first of all, it's authentic Mexican. But I kind of am more along the lines of like Tex-Mex, if that makes sense. Like I like the corn, all that kind of stuff, and lots of cheese sauce on it and whatever. So I was like, I'm not really feeling it. And we literally like just sat there in the bed for like a half an hour throwing around places. And I'd be like, okay, well, what about cheesecake? We just went there. Well, what about red habanero? No, I'm not really in the mood. We went back and forth, back and forth. So finally I was like, I don't care where we go, but I don't care where I go. And then he'll say, I don't care where I go. But when we throw something out, we're like, oh, I don't want to go there. But I don't care where I go. If you are in a relationship, you know what I'm talking about, okay? I don't even think you have to be in a relationship. I think friends do this too. Tanya and I do this too. And, like, after, like, a meeting or something, I'll be like, do you want to get something to eat? And she'll be like, yeah. And I'll be like, where do you want to go? And she'll be like, oh, I don't care. We can go anywhere. And I'll say, IHOP. And she'll, oh, anywhere but IHOP. Okay, well, we could drive and go to we could drive and, go to Cheesecake Factory. Oh, that's so far from me. Tanya, I'm driving and I'll bring you back. No, somewhere closer to me. Okay, how about Chili's? I really don't like Chili's. Tanya. Just tell me where you want to go. And she's like, I don't know. Maybe I could just drive through Wendy's and get something you could sit there and eat with me. And I'm like, well, there's really nothing that I can get at Wendy's. Okay, what about Taco Bell? Okay, Taco Bell. Then we get Taco Bell and bring it home, you know? I think if you're in a relationship, you relate to that conversation, because Alex and I have had it like our entire 11 years, almost 11 and a half years of being together. I can't believe we've been together that long. It's crazy. It's crazy to think that I've basically been with Alex for a third of his life, and he's basically been with me for a fourth of mine. Isn't that weird? That you spent your life like a fourth or a third with one person. I want to say something, by the way. I got some emails the other night. I don't remember what night it was that I was talking about marriage counseling and how things were tough for us and stuff like that. I got some very supportive, really nice messages from people, really nice comments from people. But I got some emails from people that were like, I don't think I'm going to make it. I don't think my marriage is going to make it. You know, my husband or my wife, like really won't go to counseling. I just don't think we're going to be together a year or two from now, on and on and on. I don't trust him, I'm jealous of her, blah, on and on and on, and all these kinds of things. I mean, there were so many issues that people threw to me and was like, and just venting and being like, thank you so much for talking so honestly about what you went through in your marriage. Marriage is not easy, okay? And anybody that tells you that marriage is easy, not even on a daily basis, marriage is easy. I mean, we were in bed tonight before Alex went downstairs and started watching TV when I was like getting ready to nap and stuff. I said to him, what were we talking about? Oh, Boo Radley came over and I was like holding him like a baby, and Alex was like petting Pee-Pee and Tucker. And I said, I love our life. And I just kind of like looked over at him and he smiled. And I said, we have such a great life, don't you think? And he goes, I mean, it could be better. And I looked at him and I go, Alex, and he started laughing. He goes, I'm totally joking. He was like, no. He was like, I love our life. He goes, we have worked so hard to have what we have. And we have, like, we've worked so hard that I think now we don't take it for granted, but I totally think we did. I think there's this conception in the world, there's a concept in the world that you meet somebody and you start dating them and you get along and you're passionate and romantic towards each other, and then that's just how it's supposed to be forever, and that you're just gonna like keep it up, and that 20 years down the road you're gonna be that couple that is just still so romantic and looks dreamily into each other's eyes. That is not reality, okay? That is, when you hear people say, how do you keep the spark alive? The reason people ask that question is because the spark doesn't stay alive, okay? People age, people change, you look at people differently, issues come in between you and you look at people differently, Not to, and I talk to my friends about this all the time. I think sometimes it's kind of like, do you remember when you were growing up as a kid and you'd have that one friend that you played a lot with in the summer, and then your mom would finally be like, okay, I think it's time for you guys to have a couple days apart. Like, I think marriage is like that, and I think that's why on some level Alex and I's marriage works so well. There was a point, okay, And I know this is hard for people to believe, but there was a point, and this was the 4 years that I did not go to a meeting. This was the point where I was just really unhappy in life, that I had no emotional sobriety, and I was literally the most miserable I've ever been in my entire life. Even when I was drinking and using drugs, I was more miserable than that, okay? In a happy relationship. If you had asked me, I'd been like, oh my God, I love my life at that time and stuff like that. But I didn't really know what that meant, right? I didn't really have any idea. I knew I was miserable inside, and I knew that I felt like I needed to put on this mask for everybody else. And really, I was dying. I was dying inside because I just didn't care about my relationship. I didn't care about anything. My friends, I just didn't care about anything anymore. I was just dying inside, right? And there was not a time that Alex left my side. We went to dinner every single night together. Every single night. If he would say to me, I'm going over to Judy Smith's house for dinner tonight, well, I was going to. And if I said, well, I'm going to go, Tony and I are going to drive around and do blah, 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 whatever, Alex was going to. And, you know, if we, like on the weekends, we went out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I was with him. From the moment that we left the house to the moment we came home at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and we ate steak and shake, and it was a really... We were so enmeshed that it was super, super unhealthy. And neither one of us was... You guys had just shut off. I didn't hear it shut off, so I don't know what the last thing I was talking about was. But, you know, what I was saying was, we brought in all of this luggage and baggage from our past relationships, and to a point where we were just hurting each other. Like, over and over and over again, you know, with crap that had happened in past relationships that wasn't even relevant to each other. Like, neither one of us were doing these things to create this drama in our relationship. And yet, we were, you know, hurting each other because maybe we were still hurt from past relationships, you know, and that didn't necessarily need to even be romantic relationships. That could be family things that had happened and friends things that had happened, you know, and work relationships and just growing up and how we felt about ourselves and all that kind of crap. And because we felt so comfortable with each other, we felt comfortable enough to take it out on each other, you know, to the point where we looked at each other and we're like, what are we doing? Like, what are we really doing? Because what happened was, we were unknowingly, and it never got, I don't want anybody to think that it got abusive. It never got abusive. It was never anything like that. He's never laid a hand on me, and I've never laid a hand on him. I would never say that our relationship's been anywhere near emotionally abusive. I would never say that about anything. But it got to a point where we were unknowingly hurting each other. So then I think that we consciously started hurting each other because we just weren't happy. And I think we were really trying to sabotage the relationship when I think we both just wanted out of the relationship, but we didn't really know what to do because at the same time, we both loved each other and we were clinging on to that first year that we had, that the relationship was no longer looked like that first year. Well, for me, I had already gone through that with my ex. Like, that's exactly what my relationship with my ex looked like. Except that we didn't really we weren't, like, consciously hurting each other. You know, we just kind of faded into the distance with each other. But I think with Alex's relationship, they had kind of consciously, like, hurt each other, you know, like, and again, not any kind of abuse or anything like that, but, like, just, you know, playing games emotionally with each other and things like that, to the point where there's hurt feelings. And so Alex did not want to go through that again, and I didn't want to go through it again, you know, but I was too afraid to make a move to get counseling or whatever. And that was when it was Alex, you know, that was like, if we don't go, like, I mean, he asked several times, I mean, over several months. It wasn't like it just was like, hey, will you go to counseling? Sure. And our marriage was fixed. It wasn't like that. It was over and over and over and over again. And then finally, if we don't go to counseling, I'm going to have no other option where I'm going to need to leave at some point because I can't continue to stay here unhappy, you know? And I knew he was right. And I think almost at that point, I was more willing to throw the relationship away and start over than I was willing to put the time and energy into the marriage and the relationship that we have now. And you know, the thing that's really sad about that is, I mean, it's not sad in retrospect. The greatest thing that ever happened to us, the greatest thing that ever, and this is what I want people to hear, okay? This is what I want, this is why I share this story. Alex and I have thought really, really honestly thought about sitting down on camera and doing a video, like no holds bar about our relationship. And our counselor actually suggested it. He said, I think you'll be helping a lot of people. And we may do that at some point, you know, I don't know. But the thing is that we were both at a point where we thought it was over. We thought it was done. And to now, you know, 3 years later, be at a point where we're so protective, so proud of our relationship, you know, I just want people to know that you can fix this stuff. You know, you can, but you have to kind of go into it like with the attitude that the marriage that you had and the marriage that you're going to have are really two separate marriages. You're not going to have the same marriage that you had. You can't go into it thinking, well, we're going to get back what we had in that first year, because I don't really think that's possible. I think your marriage changes and evolves. I think your relationship changes and evolves over time. You know, I don't think it ever stays the same. So it's not possible to look at that and be like, well, we're going to have the same marriage that we had. We're going to get that marriage back. You're not going to get that marriage back. You need to let that marriage go. And when our counselor looked at us and said that, I mean, I was scared to death. Like when he was like, you need to let any idea, any, you know, concept of what you had that your marriage was, you need to let that go. And we're going to recreate a new marriage built on trust and built on, you know, individuality within the relationship and what our distinct needs and things like that are, you know? And once we started doing that, and it was like, and I want people to know, we're in a very traditional marriage, like, and not that I care, I don't judge anybody else. If you want to be in, if you polyamorous, open relationships, have at that, okay? If you want to bring 5th and 9th people into your bedroom, you do what you want to do. That's not what we do. And I don't think that has to be the option of boredom. I just don't think it has to be, and that's just my stance for my relationship. I have friends of mine that are in open relationships, and I don't personally know how it works. Congratulations on it working for them. It would not work for me, okay? I could not know that my husband was going, and I could not know that I was going to do something with somebody else and bringing it home, and it being like, I love you though, you know, whatever, but I don't judge anybody for that. Like, it wouldn't work for me. But more power to them. But the reason I say that is because when I say redefining our marriage, the things that we had to redefine were, I don't need to be with you 24 hours a day, okay? If you want to go out and go downtown, I need to trust that, all right? You know, like, if I want to go out of town for like 2 days, that's cool. Like, we can have our independence from each other and we don't have to be up each other's ass, right? Which is why it was so funny, because I think it was like Annie that has watched my vlog forever. Hey Annie, you know who you are. She's so kind to me. So anyway, although I will say, I didn't know, I can't say that on here about Annie. She gave me a very nice gift one time, and I think about it on a daily basis. But anyway, you know, it's like Annie said something about, like, my husband and I don't spend every day together, and we've been together for 30 some years. We had to figure out what worked for us in our relationship. And just because it works for us doesn't mean that it's going to work for somebody else or not work for them or whatever, you know? We had to redefine what our needs are in our relationship and things like that, you know? And ever since we did that, things started working a lot better because we could communicate to each other, you know? You know, Alex would say things like, I feel like you're smothering me. And I would say, I felt like you wanted me there 24 hours a day. Oh my God, you guys, the battery is dying. And I don't have my other battery with me because I didn't charge it. I don't think I did I? This has been the second night in a row this has happened. I don't have my other battery with me. Damn it. But anyway, I just want to say this, and then I'll end this vlog. That is why I shared that story the other night, you know, was because I really want people to know, don't scrap it. Don't scrap what you have for thinking that it's just going to be easier to start over. No, it's not. No, it's not. You know, you have something savable. You have something, and I'm so glad that it was my husband, he was the one that saw that, you know? And at the time, I mean, he was 32 or something, and I'm in my 40s, and, you know, had worked in the field and everything, and it's my husband that's looking at it and saying, we have something salvageable here, and I want to salvage this. I want to save this marriage, you know? And we did, and I'm so thankful that we did. And I want you to know out there, and all the people that messaged me and commented and said, thank you for sharing that. That is the reason that I share that story. Marriage is not easy. You are going to go through such difficult times. My dad said at our wedding, each and every day, he spoke at our wedding and he said, each and every day, each person has to, that people say that each member of a wedding has, or each member of a marriage has to give 50-50. He goes, that's not true. You each have to attempt to give 100 and 100, because on a daily basis, one person might be at 40 and the other person has to pick up the difference. And I think that's absolutely correct, you know? And I think that you have to truly see a marriage as a partnership, you know, and really working together as a team. And I love my husband. I love him with all of my heart, and I am so grateful that we didn't give up and just walk away, and that we actually worked on fixing things, and you can too. And I just want you guys to know that. And go into the new year, if there are some of you out there that are really thinking about it and you really want that, give that to yourself as a New Year's present, you know? Say, we're going to try 2 or 3 sessions with a counselor. And if we go after 2 or 3, and go in and be willing to be honest and be open-minded. And if at the end of 2 or 3 sessions you're not getting anything out of it, then you don't have to go anymore. But at least give that to your marriage before you walk away. Somebody reached out to me and said, I feel like we're there at the end, and it makes me really sad because I don't want my marriage to be over. That broke my heart. That broke my heart to hear that message, because it doesn't have to be that way. Don't give up yet. Please don't give up. If you want to salvage it, you can save it. All right, you guys, I'm going to get off here now because my battery is dying. It's a short one tonight. I'm so upset about it. But anyway, I love you guys, and I hope you are having an amazing Monday, unless you have other plans. But like I always say, don't have other plans. Make the most of your day. Do something fun. Do something. It shut off right in the middle of it. So I got to say, if nobody else told you this today, I love you. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.